recently, it's come to light that a revival of Gravity Falls is possibly on the way. So you may be thinking, wow, you decided to create a video essay about the original series just because of that. And if you think that, you'd be absolutely incorrect. I made this script after the Hour of finale aired. Holy shit, that was a year ago. What the? Holy, no, that can't, no, I can't, I'm out, I'm done. Nah. Much like the rest of Season 3 and Season 2B, the finale took a lot of inspiration from the Amphibia finale. Now, Amphibia was another show that aired on the Disney Channel, which ended 2 years ago. Oh damn, this script really is old. I haven't thought about Amphibia in months, but watching this finale made me want to watch Amphibia all over again. And I'm not kidding when I say it's one of the best finales of all time. It was so good, in fact, that I was watching everything I could find about the show. So you may be wondering, what does any of this have to do with Gravity Falls? Well, after watching the Amphibia finale, I went down a rabbit hole of supposed good Disney animated shows. And that's when I rewatched Gravity Falls. After watching it, I realized that while it's incredible, it has a lot of problems still, and it isn't as perfect as a lot of people remember, including myself. So I created a list of things that I thought were personally lacking in the show, and I think could be improved upon. But before we begin, 2 things need to be mentioned. First, if you haven't watched Gravity Falls, what are you doing? It came out, it's been out for 8 years. The entire show, and you've had so much time to watch it, and it's 2 seasons, 14 hours. Do it! It's gonna take less than a day. You have time to be watching YouTube, go. It's just not long. Second, know that this is one part in a 4-part series, and some of the bolder claims in this intro will be addressed in a later video. So, without further ado, let's begin. This is the episode specifically that made me want to make this video in the first place. Not What It Seems has always felt like a season finale to me, rather than a mid-season finale. If it was a finale, it would have given time for characters like McGucket or Pacifica to fully develop, and also, it would have just given more room to breathe. Because right now, in the show, it goes straight from Not What He Seems until She Stands, and now everything's going straight towards the finale. There's no room for anybody to breathe. There's just a lot going on, and there's just a much needed break, because everything just feels rushed. Because everything felt a bit rushed, it left a lot of room for things to be improved upon, as well. It also left them adding a ton of stuff to Journal 3, which isn't necessarily what you want in, a complete show. Now, Season 2 should not have been the end of the show. Instead of Season 2B being the finale of the entire show, it should have been moved into Season 3 as Season 3B. Yes, I know you're thinking about Season 2B's replacement, but to be honest, I couldn't decide on anything in the script, so you're just gonna have to forget about it, alright? It's just shorter. Alright, deal with it. Anyways, in order to determine what Season 3A should be about, let's take a look at this amazing show called Red vs. Blue. Normally, I hate machinimas, due to most modern ones being incredibly cringe, stupid, and clickbait. Red vs. Blue is not that, most of the time. But it's funny, it knows what it is, they didn't try and pass it off as canon or part of the Halo universe, instead treating this game as a software to make the show, which is what all machinimas should do. Anyways, I want to focus specifically on Season 14. They were adamant about Season 13 being the last season for a while, because it was a fucking amazing finale. They instead made a ton of prequel episodes set up like an anthology series to explain, elements of the show that were always fully elaborated on, such as backstories of certain characters, main characters, what was happening right before the show begins, pretty much everything that was unanswered in the show. Season 3A of Gravity Falls could be the backstory that A Tale of Two Stands tries to tell in one episode. Because, let's be honest, there was a ton of missed potential there. It was a fucking amazing episode, but, there was still a lot of stuff missed out on. So, let's take a look at what it could have been. Episode 1 could be the adventures at the start of the episode, when Four and Sans were kids and having adventures and standing up to everyone. Just that small intro sequence. That would be fun, and it would also give them more time to breathe and make everything else feel a bit more impactful. Episode 2 could be about the science fair where Stan was kicked out of the house. Episode 3 focus on Stan's journey as a scammer and getting banned across the country. Episode 4 would be about Ford's college life and meeting McGucket. Episode 5 would be about the beginning of Ford's exploration of Gravity Falls and meeting Bill. I forgot to write in Episode 6 in the script, so just more of the same. Episode 7 would be when he brought in McGucket. Episode 8 would be about McGucket and Ford falling out, Ford getting stuck in the Nightmare Realm. Episode 9 would be about Stan's life after he decided to become Ford and faking his own death. And episode 10 would be about Ford's adventures in the Nightmare Realm and would also dive into Bill Cipher's history. The rest of it would be a modified version of Season 2B. We finally saw Pacifica get along with Dipper and Mabel at the end of the Gulf War, but it wasn't until Northwest Mansion Mystery that we saw her stand up to her parents. But you know what happens after that? Literally nothing! That's like gotta be one of the biggest missed opportunities of all time. She goes back to her previous self as if nothing has changed. We should have gotten more episodes like Pacifica actually hanging out with Mabel, Candy, and Greta, kinda like what happens with Amity Blight in the Owl House. Basically, for those who don't know, Amity starts out like the Pacifica character, being the popular girl and being pushed around by her parents while also bullying the main cast of characters. After a few confrontations with the main character Luz, they start to get an understanding of each other, which all culminates in the episode Lost in Language, where they become friends, and they even begin to date. Now, I'm not saying that Pacifica and Dipper should have gotten together, although probably many fans would have liked that, but what I am saying is that it would have been way more interesting to see them actually interact, besides, like, the one-off that they get in the finale. But they just do nothing with it. She just goes back to her own stuff, like, what are you thinking? I don't have much to say here, just add the part from the book where Sam was talking with Ford, and he decides to take them on the trip because summer was ending and Weirdmageddon was on the horizon. It's time to talk about Weirdmageddon. For the most part, the finale was actually pretty good. It's not perfect, but it still works well. My first problem is that the weirdness magnetism of Gravity Falls should have been established earlier on, or at least hinted at, because it just comes out of nowhere. Next, Mabel's bubble needs a massive change. Fantasy should have won that court case, not reality. Dipper should have been kicked out of Mabeland, and, you know, just the general stuff that comes like that. That way, Mabel feels bad for Dipper and comes to her own senses, like what Marcy did with the core. An escape with Wendy and Seuss. It would have been better for her character arc, as Mabel has been shown to be selfish throughout the show, and living in her own fantasy land where she can just ask any boy she wants out to do whatever she wants, forcing everyone around her to bend over backwards for her, would be the perfect culmination of that. It would all fully culminate in her replacing Dipper with Stiffy Fresh and kicking Dipper out of Mabeland. When she comes to her senses and she misses the real Dipper, she finally will leave Mabeland and to help her friends and family when they need it most. I feel like that was such an obvious direction to take, and that's not what they did. Instead, going for a more confusing route, that works, but this just makes more sense for her arc. The last thing I would change about the show is the ending itself. The way this show makes it seem as if Stan got his memory back instantly. I know Journal 3 says otherwise. That's external material, and we're not taking any of that into account. Alright? Just focusing on what's in the show and what should have been in the show. But either way, that just doesn't work. By the end of the show, Stan should really only be partially recovered. They could do a time skip ending montage to show how the events of the show affected where everyone was a month or two later, and she could show a clip to imply he fully recovered, but he shouldn't have remembered everything by the time Dipper and Mabel leave to return home. In my personal opinion, I think this could have made Gravity Falls a perfect show. It takes what disappointed me about the show, or things that were only told in Journal 3, and puts it in the show, giving it a satisfying conclusion to the characters we got to know throughout the show's run. But I want to know what you guys think, so please tell me if you agree in the comments, or what you would have liked to see the show do. And if you guys like it, I have a few more shows that I want to talk about, so stick around for that. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, make sure to leave a like, all that other stuff, dislike if you didn't. And I will see you guys next time.
Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. Look, look, look. Keep watching, keep watching. Give it a second. It's the guy from Fortnite!